Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm George Pate,
I'm Tommy Pate.
and we are with the Journeys Group. We are a financial planning firm out of North Carolina. And as we all know, the glorious season of taxes is upon us. And so today we are just going to do a video with some, I hate to even say fun facts about taxes, but just some interesting little tidbits that you may not know. So let's jump right in.
All right. The first tax ever imposed in the United States calls a rebellion. Those of you that enjoyed the musical Hamilton remember a lyric, imagine what's going to happen when you try to tax our whiskey. The Whiskey Rebellion, which was largely due to a tax that Alexander Hamilton imposed on, you guessed it,
Whiskey, yes.
They were unhappy about it, especially producers of whiskey, but violence quickly broke out. People were tarred and feathered. So I guess the point is you can tax your income, but you don't tax your booze.
What a concept.
Uh,
Yeah. Did you know? I did not know this. If you are a drug dealer and you do not include the income from selling illegal drugs on your taxes on Form 1040 or however you ought to, your jail time will be extended if you get caught for tax evasion.
But can you depreciate said the cost of narcotics if you have to report your business earnings?
I am not a CPA, so I will not be answering that on camera. Not
what
that I
you're
work.
telling me is they're cracking down on the tax on crack.
Yes.
Did you know that Abraham Lincoln gave us our first federal income tax? He signed the Revenue Act in 1861, which was the first ever federal income tax. Now think about it. Why did he do that, do you think? There was a specific reason.
Why did the federal income tax, why was it created?
Why would the Federal Revenue Act signed in 1861? He had a specific reason. He had to pay for the Civil War.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was a modest 3% tax on income over $800, which would roughly be about $23,000 today. It was almost instantly repealed, didn't last long. But on the other hand, in 1913, the 13th Amendment established the the 16th Amendment established the federal income tax that we all know and love today.
Yes, along with that, World War II led to the creation of the IRS. What a wonderful time. It was originally the Bureau of Internal Revenue, which then came to be known as the Internal Revenue Service. It is the world's largest accounting and tax collection organization, which is a really fancy term for organized crime, in my opinion.
And a big waste of money.
Yeah.
Tax day wasn't originally April the 15th. It was originally March the 1st.
Why'd they change it?
You know why they changed it?
Why did they change it?
Because the federal government wanted another month to gather paperwork and go after people.
So
they moved it from March the 1st to April the 15th to accommodate the Internal Revenue Service.
Blood-sucking pigs that they are.
Indeed.
Yes. This is an interesting one. Approximately 90%, I don't know how they figured this out, approximately 90% of people who employ housekeepers and babysitters cheat on their taxes.
If they cheat, how do they know?
That I don't know. Here we go. 1913, you were talking about how the federal income tax really came, as we know, it really came into play in 1913 with the 16th Amendment. The original tax code, the original federal tax code, how many pages do you think it was in 1913?
Probably 5.
400 pages
in 1913. 400,000 now.
In 2010, it was 70,000 pages. So don't ever try to go read the tax code.
No. I'm fixing to tell you the truth. There is a cow flatulence tax.
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's a greenhouse tax.
It's because they produce methane, and to help offset some of the methane, many European countries are looking at how do you keep up with how much that would be.
I honestly,
is there an average amount of flatulence per day the average cow puts out?
I'm sure there's a number, and per cows, depending on how many cows you had on how many days. I'm sure they have a formula.
So you can have gassy cows that lose money for you.
Theoretically, yeah. Everyone who earns a paycheck pays a federal income tax. We know that. 43 of the 50 states charge their citizens an income tax. Do you know the 7 states that do not charge a state income tax?
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Vermont.
Nope.
New Hampshire.
Nope. Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming do not have a state income tax. Still got to pay federal, but you do not have a state income tax there.
Huh. Did you know that even astronauts in space need to file their taxes on time or ask for an extension? The IRS is a notorious stickler for on-time filing. No one knows better than the command module pilot for Apollo 13. He was mid-mission when he realized he was going to miss the April 15th tax deadline, so he radioed Houston to request an extension. Everybody thought it was funny except him, because he said, "Hey, I am dead serious. I need an extension. I'm not even be back on Earth in time to file my income taxes."
That's very interesting.
The only question we don't know is, did the IRS give him the extension?
The extension, yeah. Going back to 1913, when the federal income tax first came out, when Americans first started paying annual federal income tax, they would save money. And when it first came out, they would just pay a lump sum amount to the federal government to just wipe out the federal income tax they owed. It was not until World War II, and this makes a lot of sense, that the government needed a consistent stream of income to fund the war. Obviously, wars are expensive. Wars are ironically good for an economy, but they're expensive.
Now we need a consistent stream of income for social services.
Yes, but during World War II, the federal government needed a consistent stream of income, so that's when taxes started to be withheld from paychecks automatically.
Let's wrap this up by giving you three last facts that are not fun, that are very dreary. Number one, 55% of all Americans either don't file an income tax or get all of their tax money back. So more than half do not pay income tax. Number two, and correct if I'm wrong, the top 10% of wage earners pay 90% of the federal income tax.
Something like that. They could.
Yeah. So those people that scream tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich, you're already taxing the rich. And number three, last but not least, the top 1% of wage earners pay something like 99.25% of all federal income tax.
Yeah. So if you ever hear somebody saying that the rich or the big corporations aren't paying their fair share, that's just wrong. They are. They may have some advantages that normal people do not, but I can promise you they are paying their fair share.
It's a statistical fact. Top 10% of the income pays 90% of all federal income tax. So those of you that march and scream activists, that is the poor people, rich people don't pay their taxes, you're wrong.
So taxes are not fun. Everybody knows that. I don't know anybody that likes taxes, but we thought we would make this just to have a little bit of fun with it, give you some fun facts, some interesting information about it.
And two things to pick up on. One, if you're a drug dealer, file those profits.
Yeah, file those profits.
And number two, if you own cattle, make sure they're not gassy cattle.
If y'all have any questions about this, or want any more information about this, or more about what we do, give us a call at 252-746-6785. Thank you for spending a little bit of time being a little silly with us today, having some fun with this. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. We'll be putting out more content, and we appreciate you. Y'all have a good day.
And we're going to be moving on.
Bye, y'all.
Thank y'all.